pretty garden.
Look at how innocent she is. She does not know her fate. Hello, people of the internet. And this is all post-commentary currently, because I was not in a position to do so whilst playing this. But I came up with the idea earlier today, and I just really wanted to play Dark Souls, of doing an all-shield run. And, you know, having finished up, like, about 4 hours of recording, I can say that this is probably one of the worst ideas that I've ever done, because look at that chip damage on that fucking, like, generic hollow soldier. Look at how poor that is. I also discovered, as you will later on, oh yeah, that's probably the most effective way to deal with enemies. If there's a cliff nearby, just shove them off. But I discovered earlier today that different types of shields have different types of attacks. Not even like different types of shields, like the heater and the night shield, which you'll see later. The night shield, yeah, I see. Look, I'm like trying to test that, and I just fucking give up. And the heater and the night shield, which are both considered medium shields, I believe. They both have two different one-handed attacks, I think. Though I'm not too sure. I could be completely making that up and just remembering wrong. But yeah, this was the quest for 2 heaters, because my original idea was going... Well, my original idea to begin with was doing an all-spell run, but I realized that was impossible, because once you run out of your 8 fireballs at the beginning of the game, you're going to have to punch everything with your little fire fist, and I don't want to do that. And I came up with the idea of doing an all-shield run, and then I was like, yeah, that sounds like it'd be entertaining. Oh, fucking boy. Oh, my God. I know I'm kind of hyping this up, but, I mean, just look at the damage. That's the proof. That's the foreshadowing to, like, what's going to happen later. But yeah, this is definitely... If you want to master parrying, you might want to start up one of these builds. Doesn't even matter if you actually want to beat the game with this build like I'm going to do, because I hate myself. But just go with this build, go through the Undead Burg, and you will become a parry master within seconds. But to put things into perspective about how slow... Oh, hi, Wyvern. That's called a Helokite Drake for some reason. To put things into perspective, I have a character that I put 4 hours into on my 360, and this is also done on the 360. Now that I'm saying that I own this game on multiple consoles, so I'm like every Metal Gear game, but this isn't Metal Gear, Michael. Shut up. But I have a 4-hour character that's level 40 and in Anne Orlando currently, and I have another 4-hour character that is level 18 and has only beaten the Taurus Demon. Try to guess which one is which. And I'm looking back at this, and I'm just like internally yelling at myself, like, why aren't you two-handing that shield? But yeah, Dark Souls is great. I really like this game. I think it's, in my personal opinion, one of the best worst games out there, because there is so much of Dark Souls 1 that I just never, like, want to play through again. Like, I'm not a big fan of the depths. I'm not a big fan of Blight Town. I'm not a big fan of even, like, Anne Orlando with, like, the little bow section. There are so many areas, like fucking Lost Isleth is horrible. I personally didn't like Seath's place too much. I didn't think that was too fun. Pretty much like the last half of the game is not the most fun. But yeah, even then, like with all those like really poorly designed areas and just like how overall like cheap and not fun those areas are, for some reason there's like an overarching level of fun that is to be had in this game. Ooh, look at that synchronized flailing. Doing their Bloodborne attack, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But there's some sort of like level of satisfaction that comes out of just like naturally playing the game. And you also saw there that somebody had kindled the bonfire there. I have absolutely no idea what it was. I don't know if there's like some sort of like Dark Souls like reboot character day thing going on somewhere. But I like the gargoyle bell rang multiple times. I got many Estus flasks from people who kindled the bonfires, and I don't know. I felt like I was a part of a community. But yeah, there's an overarching level of satisfaction to this game, even though a lot of it is not the best. And even like I'll go to say that because of that, like core satisfaction of like killing enemies, you know, parrying enemies, backstabbing enemies. The whole entire like core thing about that makes this game better than like even Dark Souls 3. Because Dark Souls 3, it's a pretty good game. It's pretty fun. There we go. We got our second heater shield right there. And I think right here, like, I noticed that he's like petting something in the bucket. To those of you who think he's petting the bucket, go fuck yourself. But don't actually go fuck yourself. Everyone has their own interpretations on things, so just don't take my opinion. Just stick your own penis up your asshole. Or if you're like one of my 5% female audience, which I should actually probably check that out so I can make accurate jokes. If you're like one of my 5% audience, I don't know how that works, so just do whatever. But yeah, this game, good. You got a lot of really poor sections. There was something I was gonna say earlier. Oh, I'm dropping shit. Yeah, look at me. I am doing the most retarded thing on the planet. This is this is fun. This playthrough is fun. Do not like misinterpret my like insane ramblings as, oh, I hate this so much, I never want to do this ever again, Dark Souls sucks, blah, 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 blah. Because, you know, this is super fun. It's just the most stressful experience on the planet. Like, bosses that you would normally, like, go through in seconds with, like, a long sword, or even, like, probably, like, a weapon that does damage, aside from 14 damage two-handed. All those bosses like the Taurus Demon, the gargoyles, even the Moonlight Butterfly, all those bosses take so much longer and so much more patience and effort to do. That's why I recommend don't fight any bosses like this. Just do this for parry training, because it works superbly for that. I think right around here I discovered that I relearned that two-handing is a thing. But yeah, I said the thing earlier about the Bloodborne enemy attack, which you just saw that hollow over there flail around and do. And it's just because like Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 are probably my two like least favorite of the Soulsborne games. I don't know if you could feel the quotation marks around that. But they're probably my least favorite just because, like, in Dark Souls 1 and 2, also if you hear anything like that in the background, I'm just fidgeting with stuff while I'm talking. Dark Souls 1 and 2, there's, like, a certain degree to enemies' attacks where maybe they'll have like one flail move that they'll do occasionally, but most of the time it's just like single attacks that you can like decide whether you want to block, drink Estus, parry, or one other thing. Roll, that's the one. But in the other games, like Bloodborne is so adamant on you just trying to like dodge out of the way. Like there's only one option, one playstyle that actually works for those games. And I'm not saying by any means that they're bad games. They're both really good games that I've had a lot of fun with. But at the same time, like I prefer, like Dark Souls 1 and 2 where I can do stupid bullshit like this and have it be like actually applicable. Because essentially in Dark Souls 3, shields are almost useless in that game. Just because, like, unless you pump endurance, unless you just put everything into endurance, then you are not going to be able to block more than, like, 3 hits from a normal enemy. And I like how Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1 are, like, two opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to the stamina system. Because the stamina system in Dark Souls 1 is that, oh, gee. Oh, boy. I forgot about that one. The stamina system in Dark Souls 1 is that you can swing your weapon like 3 times and absorb like 6 to 8 hits with your shield. And with Dark Souls 3, it's you can absorb 3 hits with your shield and you can swing like 6 or 7 times. I think that's kind of interesting that like Dark Souls 3 is like with all of its callbacks to Dark Souls 1 is still like got the super hardcore Bloodborne syndrome where it focuses a lot on being offensive rather than defensive, which again, if you're taking all this like, oh, he doesn't like offensive games, he must suck at Bloodborne, blah, da, 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 people that sound like that. If you're taking it like that, don't. Because those are good games. It's just I prefer being able to be defensive in a video game. Or specifically Dark Souls games, I should say. Because these games have such like a unique speed and like tone about them that it almost makes me feel like I have to be defensive. And I just prefer that with all the at least semi-realistic animations. And all the wind-ups and the cooldowns and whatever fighting game terms I can fit in this fucking video. But yeah. Those are good games. I like them. It's just this one's better in my personal opinion. And when I was like talking earlier about how yeah, see, look at how many like hits I was able to absorb right there. I took an arrow, I took an axe. And there's another Estus flask for me. I was talking about bad areas in this game specifically. That's not to say that there aren't bad areas in the other games. Like, I mean, going to like Dark Souls 2, for instance, Shrine of Amana is one of the worst places that I have like ever. One of the worst areas I've ever had to go through in a video game. And I've played quite a number of Vidya, so there's that. I'm trying to think. Like, I didn't play much of Demon Souls. I own Demon Souls. I should probably do something with that sometime in the future, but I didn't. I'm like still on like the first level because I put it into my PS3, and oh yeah, the table just shatters. I put it into my PS3 and was like, wow, this is really fun. I can't wait to pick this up tomorrow. And then I went to sleep and I was like, wow, I want to play every other video game on the planet. So, damn it, I lost myself. Lost my train of thought. Where was I going? And see, look, there's another one. That's like 3 in this video alone. I don't think it happens in any of the other videos, but, anyhow. Like, you see, like, I'm super cautious of, like, this situation right here. Like, normally you'd be able to run up there and, like, boop, 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 3 swipes, you could probably take out all of them if you're lucky enough. But with the shields, not only are they, like, the lowest damaging, quote-unquote, weapon in the game, they also have horrendous range. I mean, I'm gonna be complaining about that a lot, so prepare for that. But also, look at that! Fucking 46 damage compared to 16. That did the fucking throwing knife did 30 more damage than a motherfucking shield. That shit's fucking nuts. It's like the fucking. I'm gonna be complaining about that, and I know it seems stupid to complain about because it's a shield. You use it for blocking. But I'm doing a run, so shut up. Give me the right to complain. Um, but yeah, like there are gonna be like whole episodes that are just me taking on like hordes of enemies really slowly. Like I think a lot of this episode is just me going slowly through like each one of these like little rooms and corridors with all the hollows in them, and just trying not to die. Because like even though you got one shield for blocking and one shield for hitting, it's still like quite hard to actually like, because I guess my mentality is like if there's no threat then there's no reason to block, and that's why like sometimes I'll get like super aggressive in games and just go like because that's the noise that a fucking slashing sword makes. Shit, I did it again. I keep on like doing this shit. Like I noticed it a lot with the MGS5 videos that I did at like 2 a.m. Right now it's like midnight. I shouldn't be like this bamboozled. Oh yeah, you can jump over that if you didn't know. Of course I can't because I suck at video games or whatever. And let's see here. The rest of the video is 15 more minutes. Ah, boy. But, I was gonna say something earlier. Oh, yeah. About one shield for blocking and one shield for attacking. Something that's really nice about attacking with a shield is that they actually, Fromsoft actually, I guess they kind of expected somebody to do a dumb thing and use shields as weapons for, like, a brief portion of the game or whatever. And they added in some tech where on certain attacks, like if you attack before an enemy hits you, you will block the hit and still hit them. So that's one thing that shields are good for. If you're like really aggressive and you wait at the right point, you can block attacks whilst dealing out damage. But of course, we're talking about fucking shields here. Which I think it's kind of nuts that upgrading the shield upgrades the damage you do, but I'm so glad that it's a thing. Because, holy shit, look at the amount of fucking damage I'm doing. I struggle so much with these fucking basic hollows. Like, it's... The only thing that I wish that there was like a parry riposte. Because otherwise you just have to like hit them with the shield, and that's kind of boring. Also, there's no backstab. Also, this guy hops around so fucking much. Who says hollows can't jump? But yeah, this run is not optimal. If you like having fun in video games, and by having fun I mean like beating your video games, don't do this. This is a horrible idea. Oh yeah, see that 4 humanity down there? Now 3 humanity, 1 soft humanity. I'm not going to have 3 humanity by the end of the fight, nor am I going to have 2 Estus flasks. I'm just saying. Yeah, this is the most stressful thing on the planet. I remember after doing the gargoyles, I had to actually like take a break and like let my heart rate just go down. Because like my entire like body was like pumping with blood, like oh shit, this is so fucking hype. Also, one thing that I don't particularly like. I know it makes sense for it to be a thing, but fucking not being able to apply pine resin to shields, it really bothers me because like. I like to imagine like the amount of damage I would be able to do, which is not a lot. It would probably be like half of like your average like starter class weapon. Also, there's no Not that it's like an interesting point or anything like revolutionary or anything like that. But there's no like drop attack specific thing for the shields. I kind of wish that there would be like some sort of like stupid thing where you just bonk them on the head. Oh boy. Man, climbing up that ladder is the most stressful thing sometimes. Like when you know you're not gonna be able to kill this thing in like a few hops down, it's so fucking stressful. Yeah, and I use this little cheap trick right here a lot. And I cannot imagine doing a fucking fists build. Dude, that'd be horrible. Doing a fist build, like, oh my god. Like, I completely gave up on the, I completely gave up on the magic, playthrough because of the amount of damage the fist did. There's another humanity. Just because, like, even with the pyromancy flame, like, that fire does not do a whole lot of damage when you're just punching people instead of throwing fireballs. This looks really good in 60 FPS. I was not expecting it to look as good because Dark Souls is like the only game on the planet that is built for 30 FPS because Fromsoft is weird. Fromsoft is such a weird company. Like when I'm like doing things like playing video games, when I'm drawing, stuff like that. I like to put something in the background to listen to. Sometimes I'll do music, sometimes I'll watch streams and stuff. And I've been watching a lot of, oh god, I've been watching a lot of Plague of Gripes, old archive streams that he has on his channel. Which, if you don't know who Plague of Gripes is and are interested in like Dark Souls art stuff and just general like really good streams. Fucking right there. Fucking go check him out. But I'm like watching like all of his old Dark Souls 3 streams. Just because, you know, I like to have something in the background to listen to. And holy shit, he got it on PC, just to clarify. And since, like, I guess the Japanese audience doesn't like to play video games on PC, like, they like to work on them rather than play, which I guess is like AVGN's mindset. I don't know why I mentioned that. But they didn't optimize it for PC too well. I don't know about consoles, because I got Dark Souls 3, Jesus Christ, I got Dark Souls 3, like, when did I get Dark Souls 3? I can't even remember when it came out. Like, if it came out, like, I think I may have got it for, like, an Easter gift or something, like, really weird like that. I can't, like, if I knew when it came out, I would know exactly when I got it. But I got it, like, a long time after, like, all the online server garbage was happening. Yeah! Got his ass. Man, that felt a lot longer when I was doing it. But FromSoft, like, when the PC version of Dark Souls 3 dropped and everyone tried to do PvP and just everyone's fucking sliding around because Japanese game developers don't know what PC gaming is. Everyone's sliding around. You can't tell what the hell is happening. And, like, the thing with FromSoft is that I'm going to plug another channel here. German Spy, right there. He's the guy who wrote all the Dark Souls and Bloodborne guides. He said that he had, because, like, he's the official guy that makes the guides for FromSoft's games. He said that he was able to play some PvP with some of FromSoft's higher-ups. And look at this shit right here. Go fuck yourself. That's stupid. Yeah, here's our Wyvern friend from earlier. But German Spy got to play with the devs for... I can't remember which Souls game. I think it was when Dark Souls 3 was coming out. Quote me if I'm wrong. But he got to play PvP with some of them, and he said that they didn't know like anything about it. Like they didn't know about like backstab fishing and all like a bunch of other garbage that's just known amongst the PvP community. Also, here I just say, you know what, fuck it, because I have all this soft humanity on me, and I just revived a human, kindle bonfire. Even though this isn't one that you really should kindle ever, like it doesn't go to many places. Save your humanity for Andre's bonfire. Um, I thought I was just gonna fucking level up complete health for a second. Uh, but yeah, they didn't know fucking anything about PvP. They also like they're really bad at like patching stuff in PvP because they don't know like what any of the metas are or anything like that. Um, and so like even with Dark Souls 2, when Dark Souls 2 first came out, and they had the system where if you summoned as a white phantom, complete your goal, uh, you will regain your humanity. And everyone was like, "Whoa, that is such like a smart feature. That is such a good gameplay feature. FromSoft, you did it good." And then when FromSoft heard word of it, they were like, "What? That's not a feature that we put in the game. Oh shit, that's a glitch." And then everyone just looked at FromSoft and was like, "Yeah, we kind of expected that." Because FromSoft is a bunch of old Japanese men that don't know what video games are. They just happen to make them. Oh yeah, right here I just say, you know what, fuck it, and I just two-hand the shield. Because I don't plan on parrying anytime soon in this specific area, to be more precise. Man, these rats are such fucking bullshit with just shields. I fucking, like, I hate that the rats... I don't hate that the rats have poison. I don't mind that, but look at that poison build up. 2 hits, and you get fucking stun locked if they hit you once. That's some fucking bullshit. I cannot wait for the fucking depths. Um, but FromSoft sucks at making video games, even though they made some of the like funnest video games on the planet to me personally. Oh yeah, this right here. This is something that I do in all of my playthroughs. What you're about to see, because you know I like this area. This area right here is actually quite fun once you get the pig out of there. Um, and I will be getting rid of that pig at some point. But right here, I just sort of say, alright, gulp. Take a swig of my Gatorade so that I'm all stamina up, make sure I'm all light, and I just fucking run. Because if you waste your time fighting the enemies here, that hollow that's running away will go to the other side of the gate, and he will close the gate on you. Also, just so you guys know, I got the master key. I think you guys saw that earlier. But yeah, I just fucking run because it's just so much faster. It's so much fucking faster. And this right here was also like another really stressful point because I was just like, holy shit, everything's fucking coming after me. I got a Balder Knight. I just outran that pig. Holy shit. All these guys can fucking kill me in like 2 hits. I'm fucking poisoned. I need to get to Andre. And I mean, look at how much health I have. Look at the fucking space between me and the nearest fucking hollow. Yeah, that right there didn't help my case. I'm surprised I didn't like fucking pop a blood vessel or some shit like that, because I was so tense, especially after the gargoyles fight, which is next episode. Like after the gargoyles fight, that's like the fucking peak of stress that episode. I had to like get up and take a break. Thankfully, my parents, because if you guys didn't know from my masculine voice, I am a teenager and I live with my parents. I'm still going to high school, so whatever. And my parents made some nice ass fucking homemade pizza with some Canadian bacon, pepperoni. So that was very coincidental. That as soon as I finished that episode, they had that done. So I had to like sit down and I had to like actually, like, I moved my shoulders up, and they were, like, so fucking sore from just being locked into the same position for, like, 30 minutes. But anyway, right here we go to talk to, I keep on forgetting which one it is. I keep on getting them swapped up in each of the games. I think this one's Sigmire? Sigmire? Because I think Sigurd is Dark Souls 3. Are those the only two that he's in? It feels like he's in a lot more. Huh. But anyway, yeah, Sense Fortress is going to be pretty easy. Pretty much just don't fight anything, the area. Like, I only use a shield when I go through Sense Fortress. Also, look at that right there. That's, like, that fucking ground texture is so fucking weird. Because it's, like, completely pitch black. And then they also have the river going. Like, if they just didn't have the river, it wouldn't look so fucking cheap. But, yeah, this was my main goal for this episode, was to get to Andre. Because I knew that all the shields were going to do shit damage until I got to him. And even then, I'm doing, like... I'm not fucking getting souls fast, let me tell you that. But, anyhow, we are wrapping this episode up. So, I will go ahead and leave off by saying next episode is, the Bell Gargoyles. And just clearing out the specifically like a few enemies, because, you know, playing with only shields is just the same game but slower. But next episode, gargoyles, and the fucking Berenice Knight, the big black Tarkus looking knight down there by the Firekeeper Soul, and all the hollows up where good old Iron Pineapple is. So, yeah, right here I'm like, oh, I don't have enough for Titan Knight, so I guess I'll wrap it up. So, anyways, that is the end of our episode, and I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Fucking peace. One more time.